Hello and welcome to Sports Debate. I'm your host, Alex Lubowitz. With the MVPs for both the National and American League being awarded on the 17th, the MLB announced the finalists for both leagues yesterday. And I'll bring on panelist Jack Kentner. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing great, Alex. Thank you for having me.
And Justin Mader. Justin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me once again.
So the three finalists announced for the AL were Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, and Jose Altuve. Jack, we'll start with you. Who do you have winning the MVP for the AL?
I got to go with Mookie Betts. Win, dance, repeat, baby. This is a guy that moved in his career from second base to shortstop to center field to right field, and he continued to shine in all of them. He's maybe one of the best defensive players, at least in the outfield, maybe in the entire MLB. His 9.55 wins above replacement, and for a contact hitter, he has a lot of power.
Justin?
I think I got to go with Jose Altuve. Shorter guy, very different style of play, but I got to go with the second baseman. His batting average is first in the AL, 338. He's got 108 runs, 96 RBI, 24 home runs, 216 hits. That's first in the AL once again, and 30 stolen bases. These are all statistics, some of them that get overlooked, especially stolen bases and batting average. Not that batting average is ever overlooked too much, but I overall think he's just a better player.
Mookie Betts still batted .318, which is second behind Altuve, and he had 26 stolen bases, which is only 4 behind. And I think those wins above replacement is a very telling statistic because that shows how valuable he is to his team. That's almost an exact statistic that shows the MVP. That's his wins above replacement.
Now, Jack, let me ask you. A lot of people think Mike Trout is just a better version of Mookie Betts. He is first in that wins above replacement category. In a lot of the categories where Mookie's second in, the only person he's trailing is Mike Trout. Why Mookie Betts over Mike Trout?
Well, I think Mookie plays for a better team, and he still continues to shine, and he's the reason why the Red Sox are so good. In an offense with Xander Bogaerts
doesn't make you just the MVP. It's about the better player. It's not about who the better player on the better team.
I said because he stands out on a better team. I didn't say because he plays for a better team. Please listen to my points. I'm saying in a high-powered offense, like with Xander Bogaerts, with Dustin Pedroia, with David Ortiz, he still stands out, and he's still clearly
But on the other side of that
player.
coin, Mike Trout has more of an impact on maybe his team's worst, but he is a way bigger impact on a team that needs him more. And same thing with Jose Altuve. On a worse team, they are, by definition, more valuable, aren't they?
I don't think so, because if they were so valuable, then they would at least bring their teams into playoff contention.
I think what it comes down to is they all are the most valuable player on their teams. I think we all can agree on that. It's a matter of who's the most valuable and whether or not they can bring their teams to it. It's about who they have around them. And yes, Mookie Betts definitely has a better team around him, but I think Jose Altuve is still just the strongest candidate in the AL.
All right. Both great points on both sides. We'll switch over to the National League. The finalists for the National League, Chris Bryant, Daniel Murphy, and Corey Seager. Justin, we'll give you first word this time. Who do you have coming out of the National League?
I'm sticking with the second baseman. I'm going with Daniel Murphy. Again, batting average 347, second in the NL. He's just a great offensive player. Defense is, of course, a crucial part of the game, but you have to score runs to win. That's the only way you can win.
Jack?
I just think Chris Bryant he's got everything going for him. His OPS is fourth in the American League, and yes, Daniel Murphy is first, but he's a power hitter. He's not a guy that's supposed to be getting on base, but he still does. He has a .292 batting average. He has 39 home runs, which is third in the league. He's first in runs with 121. Yes, he plays for a great team, the Cubs, but we saw in the World Series, he's the catalyst. They live and die with him. When he plays well, they play well, and when he plays poorly, they play poorly, and with a World Series team that lives and dies on one man, that's the MVP.
Justin, real quick. Daniel Murphy is not good on the field. He's not good on the base paths. Doesn't that take away something from him and kind of push a guy like Chris Bryant ahead of him in this race?
Well, I think you do bring up a point. His defense may not be the strongest. I think he still is a fairly good defensive player, but you do have to score runs to win. I think that's just a key part of the game. And having 104 RBI more than Chris Bryant, to having a better batting average, better OPS even, all of these factors, you have to score runs to win, sure. But you're also comparing two different positions. Chris Bryant may be a better defender, but I don't think that makes him the overall better player.
He's a significantly better defender. Daniel Murphy's a poor fielder, and unluckily for him, he plays in the National League, so he can't be a designated hitter. They stick him in second base because that's the place where he can screw up the least. Chris Bryant is at third base because he is probably the best fielder on the team. He's in the hot corner, and he plays amazing. He's a very good defensive player, and then that goes with how good he is on offense, and that is a rounded, complete player, and that's why he's the most valuable player.
Quickly, both sides. Why not Corey Seager, and why not Mike Trout?
Well, Corey Seager's a young guy. He's a rookie. I think he's going to win the Rookie of the Year, and I think he's a very good player, but he's just not quite doing what Chris Bryant is doing. He's more of a contact hitter than Chris Bryant is, and I think Chris Bryant's a bigger part of the team.
Justin?
I would have to say similar things. Seager just isn't keeping up with either of these other two offensively. He does have a better batting average than Chris Bryant, which makes Chris Bryant seem a slightly weaker of a candidate. But I just think overall they're just not quite as strong.
All right. Great points on both sides. Thanks, Justin and Jack, for joining us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the Cy Young finalists and talk about last night's Seahawks-Bills games. Stay with us.
Got some questions that I gotta ask, and I hope you can come up with the answers, baby.
Girl, it's easy to love me now.